Hello everybody, my name is Dratnos. Today I just have a kind of quick video. I'm not sure what I'm going to title it. It's just going to be sort of an addendum to the video I already made about stuff you can be doing during these first few weeks. And this is basically just stuff that I've discovered or has come out or has changed in the past couple of days that may or may not interest you, may or may not be relevant, but I figured I'd just collect all of these into a video every couple of days and keep a little running notepad document. So let's start off by talking about sparks. So recently they enabled the quest from the person here near the catalyst that you can, if you have your half spark, which you get from the weekly that's up here, then you can get a full spark. You can get another half spark from this quest and use some Valor Stones, smush the two sparks together, and you get yourself your Spark of Omens. Now, this is not something I would recommend using yet, because there's not really any content that is hard for the next week, and you might make a mistake, and these sparks are a limited, valuable, precious resource. So I would advise sit on your spark for now, unless you're really, really sure what you want your first and second embellished items to be, in which case you could potentially send your spark. The fact that there was another quest as well that gave us a bonus half spark has meant that we are now going to get our second spark on Heroic Week, and our third spark on week 2 of Mythic. Now that, instead of, say, Mythic Week and week 3 of Mythic, which would be what we would have gotten if there wasn't a half spark quest, and I'm assuming there's not any more similar one-time spark acquisition increases, it does put you in an interesting spot as well, where I think it might be worth to consider having your first spark craft be a two-handed item instead of a one-handed item. Those cost 2 sparks rather than 1, which means that during Mythic Week and Heroic Week, you would only have 1 spark crafted piece, and so 1 high item level embellished item, which would be a downside for a little while. But the upside is that that would save you on crests, because if you created an enchanted gilded crest, which is the new enchanted aspects crest, that will save you. Basically, if you use that on a 2 spark craft instead of a 1 spark craft, you get kind of double value out of those crests. So I'm looking at potentially doing that for, say, my DK, which is a two-handed user. But again, I'm not committed to anything yet. I've got a whole week and a half to think about this. That is my main recommendation with the spark is you can make your spark, right? Use your 250 Valor Stones and make your spark. You're definitely going to want to have it, but don't craft with it yet unless you are 100,000% sure which thing you want your first spark to go to. Okay, speaking of professions, I have some cool WeakAuras that I have yoinked that I will link in the description below. One comes from Vaz, and one comes from Mayu, which I need to update that one. But yeah, these are really cool WeakAuras. One of them is so this is the Mayu's Profession Tracker one, and it'll track all of the weekly and one-time profession knowledge points out in the world, and you can even click on one and it will waypoint you to it. It's really, really nice. And then this is Vaz's one, which you can turn off any part of it you don't want. It can do treasures, rares, knowledge points, and it's really nice for the rares to let you know which ones you haven't killed so far today. I don't think it's perfectly set up with the warband thing. You can also have handy notes. If you use handy notes and then the handy notes war within module, which there are 2 of them with the same amount of downloads, you want the one that doesn't say treasures and rares. You want the other one because it will show you whether you have claimed or not claimed the rep bonus associated with each rare. And if you want to farm rares, that's something you can use to make sure you try and fly over and just see if the rares that you haven't claimed yet this week are up and try and get the rep from them. Because that rep is once per rare per week per warband, is our current understanding of how that works. Okay, back on professions for a little bit here, and I'll have links to these WeakAuras down in the description below, of course. Back to professions for a bit. There is also a cool thing you can do if you have Kedge, which is easy to get a bunch of, and you can warband transfer this as well. You can buy 10 profession knowledge points with your Kedge, 1 time each. So, and also, you're limited to 2 total books, not per profession, so don't be careful about this if you're going to swap professions. But these are the waypoints, and I'll put the link to this Wowhead post in the description as well, and you can go and spend your Kedge. It's like 550 Kedge to get 10 knowledge points with any 2 professions of your choice. Again, you can do this per character as well, so Very, very nice way to get a little bit of extra knowledge points. Another thing that is OP for professions is patron orders. If you haven't yet been doing them, these things are sick. You go to the patron tab, and people are going to send you work orders. There's going to cost you some gold. They're not going to send you all the reagents. Sometimes they're going to have quality requirements. So these 4 are crafts that I can't do because I did all the ones that I could do. But they'll also come with a commission that can include knowledge, really good, acuity, also good, less acuity, and knowledge. So these are really good. If I could do these, I would. And then they also come, the payouts don't have much in them, but the crafting licenses, and there are rarer versions, are optional finishing reagents that add skill to crafts. So that can be really nice. Other thing is PvP. So there's been PvP weeklies have now popped. There's one to do 1500 honor and epic BGs. There's one to do the weekly brawl, which is switched to comp stomp, very farmable if you want a bunch of honor. And there's a war mode one as well. The first completion of the week of the epic BG one and the war mode one will come with rep. So those are maybe worth doing if you want to min-max rep. Also, farming honor in and of itself may be worthwhile. Now, honor is warband transferable, but it is at a 20% premium. So you will lose 20% of your honor when you transfer it. So it's better to farm this on the character you're actually going to want to spend it on. And the thing that honor is good for, you can buy a bunch of explorer greens that go up to 626 in arenas and BGs. That can make you stronger if you want a PvP. But if you're a PvE player, the thing that it's good for is vicious jeweler's settings, which cost you 2 of these bloodstones that you can either buy with honor or buy from the auction house. And then if you want to make gold, you can even buy these and sell them on the auction house for 2500 honor. And then an extra 9750 honor will let you buy this setting. Now this lets you socket a PvP item. And the reason to care about this is that starting on probably Heroic Week, we think that the Conquest vendor is going to start selling champion track gear that for Conquest. And it's not going to require any rating or anything. It's just going to be get Conquest. So that's at least how we think this is going to work. If you want to get, say, a belt, a helmet, a bracer with a socket in it on potentially the champion track pretty early there, this would be a way to do that. You could get a socket by getting 1500 honor or 10,000 honor and some gold for these bloodstones, and then buy yourself this setting once the PvP season starts, and then buy yourself a belt or, you know, a bracers or something like that, and bang, you've gotten one decent item with a socket. Especially if you like versatility, those PvP items usually have versatility on them. There are some assumptions in that process, but that is another thing that is potentially worth doing if you want. If you queue the epic BGs and you get into Ashran as well, there is a quest in Ashran for 1000 honor just for collecting 50 artifact fragments. I recommend doing that if you get into Ashran. And also, you can just spam comp stomps if you want honor. Comp stomp is harder than it usually is. The bots are kind of strong because we're all kind of weak. And people are kind of, I don't know, people are pretty undergeared right now. So comp stomp is not as fast or free as it always has been. But you will almost always win still. Just might be a 4 cap for a while instead of a 5 cap, for instance. Anyways, that is my discoveries for today's video. I will make another video the next time my notepad document has got more lines in it of things that I want to talk about. Hope you've enjoyed this video. Let me know what you think. Let me know if you've discovered anything cool down in the comments below. Thanks for watching. See you in the next one. Bye.